Vanderbilt baseball finished 2025 as SEC champions. They were the number 1 overall seed, got knocked out in the regionals. Can they repeat as SEC champs? Can they make a run to the College World Series in 2026? It is the 26th preview for Vanderbilt baseball. Let's go.
You are Locked On Vandy, your daily podcast on the Vanderbilt Commodores, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Locked On Vandy podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number 1 sports podcast network in the world. I'm your host, Corey Burton, and this is the 2026 Vanderbilt baseball preview. So, of course, we're going to take a season outlook. I'm going to make a bold prediction here at the end of the show, give you kind of my thoughts on where Vanderbilt's going to finish their run as the season unfolds. Of course, we're going to talk about hitting. That was kind of something that was on and off again in 25. It was good sometimes. It was not so good other times. It was a bit of a roller coaster. But Tim Corbin has brought in Jason Esposito from the major league ranks to help fix that and to help get a brand new approach to the hitting game. So we're going to talk about that. Where's the power going to be in this lineup? How's the lineup going to shake out infield to outfield? And of course, the pitching is the core strength for this team. Is Connor Fennell going to be the ace? I think he can be the ace, but I think there's more than one on this pitching staff. So we're going to take a look comprehensively. And of course, we're going to talk baseball all season long here and there. But it's going to be, again, I'm very excited about this season. And this episode, this edition of Locked On Vandy is brought to you by FanDuel. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. If you're a new customer, bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So let's start with pitching, because that was the strength last year. That was the strength the year before. And that's the strength coming into 2026 as well. One thing that Tim Corbin has done a phenomenal job of doing is bringing in quality talent from a pitching perspective. And again, pitching is one of those positions where, sometimes luck plays their cards wrong, and sometimes other teams can get you. Like, pitching is a very fickle position in nature, but there's a lot of talent here, and Vanderbilt won a lot of games because of elite pitching, and these guys can really get it done. And what I like, J.D. Thompson and Cody Bowker were great last year. They leave, and you don't get much of a drop-off. You get some serious talent coming in behind them. Austin Nye was a freshman last year, got some quality innings and some midweek starts, and I think was able to kind of solidify and get himself comfortable in this rotation. Connor Fennell, again, comes back with Luke Guth. I think that's going to be – I'm anticipating that as your rotation. These guys have serious talent from a pitching perspective, and I'm not sure exactly how the days are going to come out as far as like who's Friday, who's Saturday, who's Sunday. I don't think Tim Corbin knows that yet. I think he's using some of these scrimmages and practices, and we'll probably use some of these early season games to kind of determine what is his best rotation moving into conference play. Nate Taylor coming over from Georgia, going to look to be in the bullpen. And maybe even some spot starts here and there, long relief. I like him as a relief pitcher. Miller Green also returns, and again, some great stuff and great command on his pitches, but also looks to figure in as one of your late inning guys. There's a lot of depth here, and I really like the way this is shaking out from a pitching staff perspective. England Bryan looking to come in. Probably looking to come in to solidify that closer spot. I don't know that we know for sure just yet at the time of this recording what roles is everybody going to play, but I think all that's going to sort itself out. It usually kind of does. You kind of figure out who's going to naturally just kind of fit into that closer role, but really quality pitching staff here for Vanderbilt. Now I want to highlight Connor Fennell because he's somebody that I think could be the first ace of this staff. And I think Austin Nye will develop into an ace, and I think Luke Guth could be also as well. I think you could have a potential for 3 aces. That'll make weekend series very, very tough for the opponents. Fennell comes in, transferred from Dayton, and made an immediate impact last season. 2.53 ERA, 84 strikeouts, just 11 walks over 53 innings. His success stemmed from, he just has a lot of command, and I think his pitch selection is great, and he's able to keep hitters off balance, which is great. And he can he's a guy that can come in and take command of an at-bat and really just dictate where the hitter's going, and really can kind of have control over the outcome on that. So I'm really excited about him. Austin Nye is somebody that I think had some trouble spots last year, but again, was a guy that was trying to get comfortable in that role, and I think did a phenomenal job towards the end of the season. I think pitched some really good innings in the SEC tournament, and I think similarly in the regionals. But it wasn't meant to be as a result there. We'll get more into that. But from a lineup perspective, I really like this lineup. I think there's some potential there from a hitting standpoint. Don't know exactly where it's going to come from, but you have a new approach with Coach Jason Esposito coming from the Cleveland Guardians organization, and it's going to be, I think, the new approach. I think there's going to be some potential there. They've got to find some power. They've got to find some pop. Where's it going to be? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about where they can find that power. We'll talk about it next. But first, it's tax season, and it doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert start to finish without the stress or the guesswork. So instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms, and they work to get you every deduction. You can upload your documents, you can go about your day and get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver, and it gives you real peace of mind knowing that an expert is handling it for you and handling it for you well. So for a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. So take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. Also, it's last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to get in on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, this is the game everyone's been waiting for, and this is where predictions turn into plays, stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger. It's the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle. If you're a new customer, bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season is over. It's the last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. So visit FanDuel.com to get started. And also, the Everydayers Club. If you aren't already an Everydayer, if you're already taking it to the next level, make sure you join the Everydayer Club. It is well worth it. It is you get ad-free audio. It's a members-only Discord channel that you get access to. You can take it to that next level by interacting with other Vanderbilt fans, passionate Vanderbilt fans that want to make a community for themselves on this Locked On Discord server. You can again, you don't have to listen to ads if you go on whatever podcast app you want to do. So lockedonvandy.supercast.com. It's the way to go. $5. It's just $5 monthly, $50 a year, and you get premium listening, and it's out of this world. So the Everydayers Club, the link is down in those show notes if you want to click, and make sure you join today. All right, thanks for making Locked On Vandy your first listen each and every day. Talking baseball, it's the 2026 baseball preview. And I'm really excited about this team because I think this young core of pitchers that are super talented, I think have a chance to really be special. But when you look at this lineup, I think there's a lot of potential there. I think I think with the roller coaster it was last year, you need some more power and you need a new approach to the lineup. So I'm really excited about that and what Jason Esposito can bring to the plate, pun intended, and what this team can do from a hitting perspective, because there's some potential there, but there just needs to be more runs that score, because I think what happened in the late stretch of the season, especially in the regionals, you got to a point where your bats were not supporting your pitchers, and your pitchers just ran out of gas, and they could only support little run support for so long. Like, your bats it's called complementary baseball. Your bats have to match your production there. So what I really like, and this lineup is going to be unbelievable. I'm excited about Mike Mancini at second base. I'm excited about Colin Barzey coming back behind the plate. Max Jensen transfers in from Cornell. I'm excited about Braden Holcomb from an outfield perspective. He hit 9 bombs last year. Brody Johnston at third base hit 15 bombs. Matt Whitcomb coming over from Tennessee Tech, he hit 15 dingers with a 360 average. He's coming in as DH. Projected Rustin Rigdon in the outfield with Logan Johnstone, I think are going to add some pop there. Rigdon is probably going to be more of your get on base and run around type guy. So it's a lineup that I think, when you also have to replace the shortstop Riker Waite coming in. Not sure what he's going to be able to do. He's not had much production there, but that's likely going to be your starter at the shortstop position. So this lineup is going to be interesting in how Tim Corbin builds this lineup. I imagine Matt Whitcomb is going to be third or fourth. I imagine Brody Johnson is going to be whatever Matt Whitcomb is not, and then Braden Holcomb will probably be whatever those two aren't. So I think you're going to get like a Brody Johnston hitting third, Whitcomb fourth, Holcomb fifth. You got the Logan Johnstone and Carter Johnstone coming in. Those guys look to also find spots as well. So again, very excited about that. Max Jensen coming over from Cornell at first base. He had a decent batting average, 5 home runs, drove in 15 runs. Not a ton of production, but again, I think somebody that can factor in this lineup somewhere and do some and produce some things. So it's going to just be really the approach at the plate, how they take at bats, how they approach at bats, and how they can drive in runs. Can they get some power in the middle of their lineup? That would be clutch if they could, when they can rack up the run totals and really give their pitchers some breathing room. That'll be a big weight lifted off those pitchers' shoulders there. If they can find some pop, that'll help them in postseason play, because you have to have a combination. Like, some games in regionals you're going to have to win 16-12. And there's other games you're going to have to win 2-0. And so when your pitchers need to be on point to win those 2-0 games, and your bats got to be on point, obviously, to win those 16-12 games. So it's going to be kind of a combination of these guys are going to have to pick each other up. That's the sport of baseball, and I'm really excited about it. But there's going to be more to come with this baseball preview but I just wanted to give you an overview of kind of what this season's going to particularly look like. I'm really excited about this lineup. I think there's some potential there. Just not sure exactly, because you've got new philosophy coming in from a hitting perspective. So I don't know how these guys are going to react to that, how they're going to take those live at bats. That'll be something we see if they come out just hammering. That'll be a good sign, and I'll feel really good about this prediction I'm about to make. I think worst case scenario for this team, I do think they go to a regional, and I do think they get out of that regional. I think their floor for this year, given their pitching talent and giving the potential they have from a hitting perspective, I really like what they've done with bringing in Jason Esposito. From that perspective, I do think they can advance out of a regional and get into that super regional. That's kind of their floor. But I do think they have an outside shot at making another appearance at the College World Series. I do think they have a chance if they position themselves right and they get themselves in the right bracket. They could get a good matchup in a super regional and win that series to advance to the College World Series. And I think they can get there. And if they can get there, it's anybody's game because they have the pitching staff to be able to take over. And I think that's kind of where you've got to base everything out of because the hitting will come and go. That's how hitting is by nature. But pitching, if it can be more consistent, they can carry the team a little bit. And that's kind of where I think worst case, super regional, best case, obviously going all the way, but I do think they have a really, really nice shot at making the College World Series. But I do think they will. Their season will. I don't foresee their season ending anytime before a super regional. I would be surprised at that, given the talent they have from a pitching staff perspective. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for making Locked On Vandy your first listen. Make sure you join the Everydayers Club on your way out. Like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Pass the word, okay? I'm going to try to ramp up my baseball content. So I give you an assignment here. Leave me your comments based on what you want to see from a baseball perspective, what you want me to talk about, how you want me to, how you feel like I could best serve you from a baseball perspective as best as I can. Same with basketball, same with football. But until next time, anchor down.